So, how does stress and anxiety affect your diet? Let's talk about it. Stress and anxiety can play havoc on your diet, and that's because during high stress, when you're feeling very anxious, your adrenal hormones and your neurotransmitters are so out of balance that you crave foods that will help to get them back into balance. Your hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis is the communication center that controls your stress response. As soon as you perceive a stressor and start to feel anxious, your adrenals produce adrenaline. Adrenaline triggers adrenal aldosterone production. Aldosterone controls your salt water balance and your blood pressure. Rising adrenaline triggers a release of cortisol to release stored sugar to fuel that fight or flight. Now, when you're under an acute stressor, meaning it's just happening, and it hasn't lasted very long, the high adrenaline levels may actually knock out your appetite and make you a little nauseous, and you may lose weight. In the beginning, you will definitely crave some salt and you'll be thirsty. But when the stresses become chronic, you start to crave sugar and fat along with the salt. Under the influence of high levels of cortisol, you need to replace those sugar stores. The fat you crave is because your adrenal glands need fat in order for you to make steroid stress hormones, aldosterone, cortisol, and DHEA. The salt craving comes from high aldosterone production, which has your kidneys wasting more sodium and potassium into the urine. Even if you may be trying to follow a low-carb diet and eat more protein and healthy fats, you're craving junk foods. You're craving comfort carbs, fatty fried foods, and salty foods, none of which are good for your health. The carbohydrates you crave, like sweets and particularly chocolate, happen when your serotonin levels are low. And when serotonin is low, you feel more anxious. Dark chocolate can be medicinal, so you can consume it in a small amounts to help elevate your mood. But if you're eating more than an ounce or two a day, you're going to have problems with an unbalanced diet that can lead to weight gain and detoxification issues. Stress and junk food affects your bowels because you tend not to eat as much fruits and vegetables. Choosing sugar and starches instead of fiber-rich food can cause constipation and ultimately detox issues. Now, if you have any questions about stress and anxiety in your diet, please join me in our Hormone Support Group where I answer your questions live. You can access it by signing up for my free Hormone Reboot Training. Yes, stress and anxiety can wreak havoc on your diet. I've found that my patients who take Genesis Gold regularly to support their hypothalamus rarely have long-term issues with poor dietary choices. Of course, they experience stress as well as we all do, but their reaction to stress is very short-lived. They bounce back faster. They recognize their cravings sooner, and they fulfill those cravings with healthier alternatives, like a little bit of dark chocolate, maybe a sweet potato to help with some of the carb cravings, nuts and seeds for the fat, and a little bit of sea salt sprinkled on top for those salt craving. That's because Genesis Gold helps them become more attuned to their body. When you support your hypothalamus, you're going to bounce back from stressors much more rapidly, and stress will not wreak havoc on your diet and your health. I'll see you in the next video.